Starfield turned out to be one of the most disappointing games I've ever played. Not because of purely how bad it is, but because of all of the potential and systems that are good, flanked by absolutely horrible decisions and execution. With a NASA punk aesthetic, most things are all about form and function rather than exuberance and elegance. And while this does result in some really nice looking interior spaces, the actual feeling behind it all is so bland. On each procedurally generated planet are countless random outposts and dungeons, full of nothing but copy-pasted enemies and layouts with absolutely no interesting story or gameplay to be found. And when you do try to engage with the more handcrafted elements like the faction quests, you are met with poorly written segment after poorly written segment, with quests that have objectives that require you to go through 3 loading screens just to turn in a bounty at a terminal for credits, or dialogue choices that are so laughably bad they make me depressed knowing Bethesda could do so much better. And yet, the funny thing is, I actually have put way more hours into Starfield than I have most other RPGs I've played, and that's because of the potential. Because you see, sometimes when playing Starfield, everything just hits right. Like when you first land on a new planet and you're met with a dense forest with rays of vibrant sunsets streaming through each leaf, as massive, never-before-seen creatures run their way past on the horizon. Or a select few quests that take you into locations full of dark and twisted horrors of a forgotten past, harkening back to the environmental storytelling that made Elder Scrolls and Fallout so great in the first place. But sadly, these moments are far and few between, and the true story of Starfield, at least as it stands as a game before multiple years of updates and its first DLC, is an experience that reaches for the stars but stumbles on the first leg up. Imagine if the crafting system was even half as good as Fallout 4's, where you could make extremely custom guns with varied effects that change how you play the game. Or what if you could build actually interesting bases that didn't all look like carbon copies of one another? The amount of people online with cool creations like we could see in Minecraft would be awesome. And yet, because the game is so massive, while each system has a great foundation, they each need so much more work to become something that's actually fun to engage with for hundreds of hours. But you know, maybe one day Starfield will actually, after tons of updates, reach its true potential, where every individual system on its own is a grand adventure, and things like the procedural generation will be filled with some top quality custom made quests that can spawn that make exploring the universe actually fun again.